Liberty Counsel defends the 10 Commandments before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action. Joining me in studio is Harry Mihet, Senior Litigation Counsel with Liberty Counsel. And Harry, you just recently argued the case. Explain to our listeners a little bit about what's going on there in Dixie County, Florida, with the 10 Commandments monument and where the case stands right now before the 11th Circuit.
Well, thanks for having me with you, Matt. Some number of years ago, the Dixie County Commission, on behalf of the citizens of Dixie County, a small rural county in central Florida, decided to open up a public forum on the steps of the courthouse steps and to allow the citizens of Dixie County to commemorate the heritage of the county and of the nation, as well as the formation of our laws with various displays and monuments and other such forms of expression. They opened up this forum on equal terms to all of the citizens of Dixie County. And one citizen, Joe Anderson, a benefactor that is loved by everyone in the community, decided that the proper way to do this was to erect a 10 Commandments monument. And so he did so as a private citizen accessing a public forum. And he did it with his own private funds on his own time. And everyone in the county knew that this was Joe Anderson's monument. They knew it because it's a small county, but they also knew it because there are signs in the forum that announce that this is the private speech of a private person existing in a public forum that is available to all. Everyone in Dixie County was pleased and loved this monument, except, of course, for our friends at the American Civil Liberties Union,
Right.
Not in Dixie County, but several counties away in Tampa, Florida. They decided they needed to reestablish law and order for the citizens of Dixie County, and so they asserted themselves in and filed this lawsuit against the citizens of Dixie County.
And by reestablish law and order, of course, we're talking about trampling the Constitution because the ACLU has over and again expressed a marked hostility toward the First Amendment, freedom of religious expression, certainly. Now, Harry, there is a precedent that when a city opens up a public forum, I'm thinking of cases, for instance, where they allow people to purchase bricks and put, if they're building, the city's building some kind of a stadium or other, official city building, but they will allow people to put little notes on the bricks. And if there have been cases where if somebody puts something really religious in nature, the city has said, no, you can't do that. Well, yes, you can. The Constitution allows that. This reminds me a little bit of those sorts of cases. So what is the ACLU saying here? Are they? It seems they're way off base to me.
Well, sure. The Supreme Court has said time and time again that there is a crucial difference between government speech endorsing religion, which the Establishment Clause has been held to prohibit,
right,
and private speech endorsing religion, which the Free Exercise and Free Speech Clause of the Constitution protect. When a private person speaks in a public forum that has been opened up by the government to all of the citizens on equal terms, his speech, though it may be religious, does not automatically become government speech simply because it takes place in a government-opened forum. That has become a bedrock principle of First Amendment jurisprudence, and that is what is at stake here. Now, the Dixie County is saying, well, that may work when people are speaking verbally, but come on, with monuments, that's got to be different. Mm-hmm. Well, we disagree. We think the Constitution applies equally to all citizens in all circumstances, and we're prepared to defend this county's right to do that.
Now, with this particular case, there's an interesting little angle here. It turns out that nobody in Dixie County had a problem with this whatsoever. So the ACLU had to bus in somebody from, I understand, North Carolina to file a lawsuit. So would they even have standing to file this lawsuit? Is that an issue before the court?
That has actually become the issue in this case. As you've said, the citizens of Dixie County have no problem with this monument. It's a small county, and all of them are in favor of this monument. In fact, not too long ago, they had a rally at the side of the monument to show their support for it. And I think there's about 1,400 people who live in Dixie County, and there were about 1,700 people at this rally supporting the monument. They don't have a problem with it, but that doesn't stop the ACLU from coming in to try to impose its values on on Dixie County. And so since they didn't find the person there, they've got this one fella from North Carolina, and his identity is anonymous in this case. But we do know that he doesn't own property in Dixie County. He doesn't vote in Dixie County. He has no connection to Dixie County other than his philosophical objection to this monument that he says he saw on one trip to the courthouse. He was there to check to see if there were any foreclosure property good deals to be had, and was so offended by this monument, we're told, that he instantly decided he wanted nothing to do with the county and wants to change the situation.
So this is a setup all the way, and we see that. Now the ACLU, we butt heads with the ACLU on a regular basis. Liberty Counsel does. I'm happy to report that when we go up against the ACLU, our win-loss ratio, we're well over 90% victories against the ACLU, and that's because of this exact sort of thing. But generally speaking here, Harry, we know that, for instance, in the past few years, the ACLU has started a particular project where they are targeting Bible Belt communities to go in, these interlopers to come in and attack the mores of the community and certainly the religious freedoms of individuals in the community. Having raised $350+ million for this project. George Soros funding a great deal of it. So this is by design. They are targeting Christian communities, going after their freedom of religious expression. Isn't this just another example of that?
Absolutely. You just glossed over the number, but $350 million. That's a third of $1 billion with a B that they took in one fundraising drive over and above their $100 million per year budget, courtesy of people like George Soros and other like-minded individuals. And they raised this money with the specific intent of going after these problem communities where there's way too much prayer going on, way too much religious expression in the public square. Communities like Dixie County and communities like Santa Rosa, where we
Pace
know
High School.
Yes, exactly. What they try to have people thrown in jail for praying at public school events. This is, this idea that somehow they are entitled to bring San Francisco values to Main Street, USA, is exactly what they're trying to push, and sort of to try to have the San Francisco values become the lowest common denominator, if you will, and to try to impose those values on people who would still like to do things otherwise.
Well, they're out of step with history. They're out of step with the law. They're out of step with the Constitution. But it shouldn't surprise us. I've often said the ACLU seeks to radically redefine an America, to remake, recreate, fundamentally transform America, to borrow from President Barack Obama, who is of this kind of like-minded progressive mindset in their own self-image. They don't want the true history of this nation, our Christian heritage, our deep Judeo-Christian roots. They don't want them on display in historical displays like this with the Ten Commandments. They don't want private speech that reflects accurately the import that the Ten Commandments have had on our legal system. They want to wipe the slate clean. Am I right?
Exactly. They want to wipe any reference of God from the public square. I mean, we see this even in the Giles County, Virginia case, where the ACLU has filed suit against the high school for having a Ten Commandments display that is one framed piece amongst 29 other historical pieces, including the Declaration of Independence, the Magna Carta, one display to sort of show documents that were central to the formation of our nation. And one of those 29 documents is the Ten Commandments monument, and that's the one they're after, and that's the one they essentially want to censor. Now, the suggestion has been, well, we just cut out the first 4 commandments or 6 commandments that have anything to do with God and leave the rest in.
Unbelievable. Well, folks, Liberty Counsel, we stand in defense of the Ten Commandments. I want to encourage you to call Liberty Counsel at 800-671-1776 or go to lc.org for a gift of $5. We'll send you the Ten Commandments in American Law and Government, a pamphlet by Liberty Counsel Chairman and Founder Matt Staver, lc.org, or give us a call 800-671-1776.